A bad workman blames his tools. A bad workman blames his tools. Means it is difficult to understand or guess what another person may like. Example: there is no accounting for taste, I thought as I saw the man walk by in the red pants and the green shoes. A bird in hand is worth two in the bush. A bird in hand is worth two in the bush. Means don't risk losing something that you have by trying to get something that is not certain. Example: you should accept the job offer with a lower salary now rather than waiting for a higher salary. Remember that a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. It means don't risk losing something that you have by trying to get something that is not certain. Example: you should accept the job offer with a lower salary now rather than waiting for a higher salary. Remember that a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. A cat has 9 lives. It means cats are very strong and can often survive many accidents or problems as can some people. Example: the president of a small country kept surviving various crises just as a cat would who has 9 lives. A faint heart never won a lady. It means a shy or timid person must be bold to attract the woman that he likes. Example: his brother must be more aggressive if he ever wants to find a girlfriend. He should remember that a faint heart never won a lady. A friend in need is a friend indeed. It means a friend who helps you when you need help is a true friend. Example: he was my best friend since childhood, so naturally I helped him when he got into trouble. We both knew that a friend in need is a friend indeed. A miss is as good as a mile. It means narrowly missing success is the same as missing something by a wide margin. Example: a miss is as good as a mile, and the fact is that although he almost passed the course, his marks were not high enough to get a diploma. A nod is as good as a wink to a blind man. It means hinting about something can be accepted without further explanation. Example: his boss only gave a slight hint as to whether or not he wanted to proceed with a project, but a nod is as good as a wink to a blind man, so he decided to go ahead and begin. A rolling stone gathers no moss. It means someone who often changes jobs or where they live does not build roots or wealth. Example: the musician was a good example of the saying that a rolling stone gathers no moss. He moved from town to town and had lived in almost 50 different places during his lifetime. A rose, by any other name, would smell as sweet. It means what is important is what something or somebody is, not what they are called. Example: a rose, by any other name, would smell as sweet, was said in Romeo and Juliet when Juliet was commenting that although their families were of different names and they could not marry, Romeo was still wonderful and handsome in spite of having the difference. A stitch in time saves 9. It means if you fix something or solve a problem immediately, you will save much time later. Example: a stitch in time saves 9, and it is better to spend some time becoming organized and efficient, and then you will save more time in the long run. A watch pot/kettle never boils. It means if you wait impatiently for something to happen, then it will seem to take lunch. Example: you should go and sit down rather than wait for the beans to cook. Remember that watched pot never boils. Actions speak louder than words. It means what you do is more important than what you say. Example. The politician was always promising to do many things, but he never carried out his plans. The voters believed that actions speak louder than words and soon voted him out of office. All good things must come to an end. It means usually said after a nice holiday or enjoyable experiences. Example. All good things must come to an end, and the holiday was soon over and they were on their way back home and to work. All is fair in love and war. It means the things that you do in love or war can often be excused. Example. All's fair in love and war, he thought as he asked his colleague out for a date. All roads lead to Rome means the same end or goal may be reached by many different ways. Example. All roads lead to Rome, he thought as the two groups decided to use two different methods to finish the project. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. It means it is not healthy to spend all of your time working and never relaxing. Example. The parents were always forcing their child to study and seemed not to realize that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. All's well that ends well. It means a successful outcome is worth the effort. Example. The children arrived home safely after the storm with their parents, thinking that all's well that ends well. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. It means a crime or injury should be paid back equally. Example. The ice hockey player believed in an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth and attacked the player who had hurt him during the previous game. Bad news travels fast. It means people are quicker to pass on bad news than good news. Example. He realized that bad news does travel fast when he heard about the job layoffs a week before the official announcement. Better the devil you know than the devil you don't. It means it may be better to endure a situation that you are used to than to risk a change for something that may be worse. Example. He decided to move with a stockbroker to his new company because he felt it was better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Better to be safe than sorry. It means it is better to be careful than take chances to risk an accident/illness/or failure that you will regret. Example. It is better to be safe than sorry, and I always bring my umbrella to work when it is a cloudy day. Between the devil and the deep blue sea. It means used when you have two choices or alternatives and both of them are unpleasant. Example. The sailors were between the devil and the deep blue sea, and if they went ahead they risked running out of gas, but if they went back they risked running into a bad storm. Birds of a feather flock together. It means